Come on, come all, come around to the spookiest place in town. We've got stories to tell that won't let you down. Stories of oldies that wear the crown. Stories of bad that make you frown. Despite wherever you're listening to, or wherever you're listening on, we want to welcome you to the Freak Scene Podcast. Here, all freaks have one thing in common and one thing alike only, that being horror. Before we begin this podcast, I have to ask one thing. What is your favorite horror movie? Welcome, everyone, to once again the Freak Scene Podcast. Today I am here with.
Hi, it's Seth.
And again, welcome. So first of all, this is a prototype episode to see how well we're going to do with this. There's going to be a lot of changes coming along. But for this first podcast, I guess we can describe what this is going to be before we actually jump in. So the basis behind this is we've wanted to make a podcast of just reviewing horror movies. And kind of like I said at the beginning, some older horror movies, some new ones, some good, some bad, and some downright ugly. And trust me, we're going to be getting there. So, again, before we ask, I at least want to ask you, what is your favorite horror movie?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with this one's going out there. If I'm honest, there's a film called The Children, and it
Jesus.
is one of the most terrifying British horror thriller films I have ever seen, and it will put you off having children for the rest of your entire life.
and,
Scared me.
and for me, I am more of a classic bitch. It's Friday the 13th. I am very
Well,
classic. However, we're not going to be taking a stab at those two today. Today, we're going to be looking at actually a recent movie. Came out months ago. We're going to be taking a look at the new Scream, or depending where you want to look, Scream 2022 or Scream 5? I think it's what it is. Obviously, spoilers for if you haven't watched it. Don't you be getting mad at us. We're gonna be talking.
we won't be getting mad at you.
Yeah, we ain't gonna be getting mad at you, but obviously this podcast is gonna have a lot of spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything about it, click off right now. If not, and you're still here, well, guess we could take a stab in the dark at this, and let's go over the movie. Okay, sorry about that. Forgot to mute there. So,
Nope. That's
so a basic summary of the movie. The movie follows two teenagers, I think they're teenagers at least, Sam and Tara. Both of them getting attacked by the killer we all know and love to this day, Ghostface. But during the movie, there's a lot of, I guess you could say weird things going on. In classic Scream fashion. Okay. In classic Scream fashion, these attacks are happening due to a certain reason, and the people kind of know they're in a movie. Again, Scream fashion. But later in the movie, we do realize that Sam is actually the daughter of Billy Loomis, which was a huge surprise. And later in the film, we see a good variety of returning characters such as Sidney Prescott, Gale Weathers, and Officer Dewey Riley. Near the end, however, we realize they pulled a curtain over our heads and they pulled a Scream 1. Two killers this time around. Sadly though, a lot of the main characters we're not going to talk about died. But we also lost beloved Dewey. And I guess that's pretty much the summary of it. Isn't the best way to really give a summary of that movie? There are still like a bunch of side pieces. There's a bunch of jokes in the movie that hint at the original Scream, as multiple times they refer to a movie called Stab, talking about how there were two killers, being uh, Billy Loomis and Stu. I do not remember his last name. Also in the movie, it is seen that they're watching Scream multiple times. And I guess to end off the summary, this was the first movie without Wes Craven since he passed away in 2012, if I remember correctly. And so we ended up watching this movie, how long ago? A couple months?
Yeah, something like that.
Like last month or something.
I think it was last month.
She ended up watching it for the first time. This was my fucking third. This is like my third. Since I've watched it in theaters. And this, at least to me, before pretty much shitting on it and praising it. This was a step up. To me, this was a step up from the last movie. Last movie was really bad. Which was Scream 4. It was Scream 4 or 5. I think it's Scream 4. I'm sorry, I'm off my memory today. But Scream 4 was very bad. And without Wes Craven actually directing it, this movie turned out to be really good. Still had the classic comedy of it's a Scream movie, but this movie went from comedy to horror really quick. I don't know if you have any input to put on this.
I mean, being somebody who saw it for like the first time when we watched it, I genuinely actually enjoyed what I saw. Like they had a really good combination of comedy bits to it, but then threw in some real curveballs of like dark horror aspects to it, like the kill scenes and generally like the attacks were really quite brutal, and more so than I've seen in a lot of the previous ones.
Yeah. And I would also give it to them for throwing, like you said, throwing curveballs. I want to give them for throwing certain curveballs, as like at least when I went into the theater, I didn't expect this. So pretty much this movie was also Scream 1. They had a lot of aspects from it. The beginning scene being a phone call, kind of ripping up the first one. We had that. We had classic two killer fashion. That was a big curveball. I did not expect there to be two. And also throughout this movie, at least to me, for Scream movies, it's always fun of, okay, try to figure out who it is. On this movie, if you want to go watch it, good luck figuring out who it is. I was wrong.
See,
I was wrong on like 4 occasions.
that thing is there. I called it from the get go. If you remember,
You called
from
it. She
beginning,
watched it
I
and called it.
it.
So I guess to dive into the review, I want to talk about some of the good factors of it. Again, my big one was this is a step up for taking control without the original creator. The movie was really good. I enjoyed it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't have seen it 3 times in a row. I am probably gonna go see it again.
They did a great job with it.
They
Like
did.
they did.
They did really
They
well.
were coming away. Yeah, they came away with like obviously having to take everything that Wes Craven had done previously and then rebuild that into a structure that they could use and then somehow try and make it their own thing and put their own stamp on it and get their name out there so that they
Yeah.
have something unique but also the same so that they're pleasing both sides of the fans.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
And so like for me rewatch value up there. Like I don't watch. I barely rewatch horror movies because it's the same thing. But this is one of those where it's like I will actually sit down and rewatch it because the movie was really good, but there was also a lot of hidden stuff. A very hidden thing that I actually didn't notice till we rewatched it was how many nods of horror movies they made. Throughout the whole movie, they mentioned Michael Myers. There was a street they drove on titled Elm Street. which actually I had to go in deeper. I think the street right beside it was Nightmare, making it
Yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street. And they used again original aspects from Scream. We had the original Scream house, the original. Actually, I forgot we had 4 original actors return because Billy Loomis's original actor returned to play the role of Billy, which he looks really good. I'm just gonna say that now.
he still looked like the same as he did, just a
Oh, he
little
did.
older, and he looked
Um,
great. Like he pulled his role
so
still, like he still had that like role in him
yeah.
completely. I was really
Um,
impressed.
so continuing with the like pretty much the praising of the movie. God, what else? The characters in it, they so kind of typical Scream Factory, they weren't as annoying as they used to be. Don't get me wrong, they're annoying. God, they were annoying, and that whole movie I was sitting there going, she needs to die. She needs to die. You need to die. You need to shut the hell up. Like the whole damn time until we got halfway through and it was the original cast. I was like, yes, goddamn yes. Then they had to throw the curveball at me and it hurt my feelings. God,
And
that was
talking about your favorite character getting off.
God. Okay, so this is where we're gonna derail from into a thing that I hated. Don't get me wrong, it was good. However, they had to kill off Dewey. Now, don't get me wrong, killing him off, I'm fine with it, but you kind of picked a better way to go. Instead of, I need to
I
shoot him in the head. He could have done
I didn't
anything
agree
else.
with that.
He
It
could
felt little,
he
a
could
little
have
bit
he
like
could have like stopped him from going into the elevator. Been like, just go without me, I'll fight him off. And no, he walked up, phone rang, and he's dead. Okay. But more good things about it. Man, the ow, I just stuck my toe. Also for future references, we're not in the same house. We are doing this over Discord. But so the comedy in this movie wasn't as comedic as the other Scream movies, but it still
yeah, I'll agree
it
with that.
had that feeling of they like again.
Oh,
They,
when there were comedy bits, they packed a punch.
oh
They
yeah,
were good
in
comedy bits.
in old Scream fashion, they picked on the fact that they were in a horror movie. They picked on everything, and especially near the end when they went over the horror movie rules, which is classic. Don't say I'll be right back. Don't travel alone. They ended up talking about it and breaking those rules multiple
Every
times.
single rule got
Oh,
broken. It was brilliant.
everything. It was so dumb. However, again, ending of it wasn't bad. Um, I do also have a feeling. Oh, actually, they announced it. They're making another one, and highly confirmed that Sidney Prescott and Gail Weathers are making a return. And there's high rumors that Stu is making a comeback. Who, again, Stu was the other killer in the first movie. I don't know how he's gonna make a comeback. He's dead. But you never know.
His kid, it's his kitten. He's gonna come back in the
Oh,
the
exactly.
the.
Um, however, to me there were some downsides to the movie. You touched up on this, but I'm gonna touch on it my way. The kills. What the hell happened?
I don't know.
Kills used
Like
to me. The kills used to be good. Like obviously they were off screen, but they were like kind of creative.
they
And
were really
and
creative. I was like, what?
in this movie, you legit just have stab, 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 stab. Hey, ran over. Stab, stab, gunshot.
There was no
Now,
messing about in this one. Like they didn't
yeah.
make any
So
plans or trying to be like creative. They
yeah,
just
and once
they
again,
went for it.
I understand it because they used that they were going with more horror, but anything else but stabbing? What, like seriously,
I mean, they did
anything
use
else?
guns a
They did.
little
They
bit,
used
but
so the end of the movie was creative. They had
yeah,
someone. They had someone stabbed in the neck, had their neck chopped, pretty much cut off. Someone got shot. Someone got burnt on fire and then blasted in the back of the head. That was the
literally
mainly
burned
creative part.
alive.
That was like the most creative part of it, in my opinion. But
I quite liked that they also made it so that it was like, even though she was burned alive, she still like
Oh,
popped up.
oh yeah, she wasn't going down without a fight.
She kept
She
on
kept
coming.
going.
Like that was pretty badass. I will give it that.
Yeah, and uh, to me also the purpose of actually the killings was, in my opinion, the best of the series. So the whole purpose of it was obviously Sam was Billy Loomis's daughter, and the killers were picking on these two because they had links to the original like killer, original actor, you could pretty much say. So when they their goal was to get the original three back because they wanted to kill where it all started. So it was pretty much a deranged attack on we want to kill everyone who's a part of the Scream franchise, which obviously didn't
Anybody
go
who
well.
was the original,
Yeah,
anyone who was in
anyone.
the
So pretty
original,
much Shara, Tara, Dewey, no, sorry.
Sydney.
Tara, Gail, Sydney, Dewey, Sam. I don't know where I got Sarah from. I keep getting Sarah from somewhere. I do not know where.
Sarah Sampson.
Sarah's, yeah, they both sound
Lots
similar.
of S's in this.
There was too many S's. Um, but again, the movie was classic. The whole time, I didn't think there were two killers. They didn't make it known that there was two until
I had a
the
guess
end.
that it was gonna happen because I said if they make it that the boyfriend's the
Oh yeah,
one of the killers,
yeah.
I'm gonna say it now. That's just cheap
In my
because it's
opinion,
based.
though, they could have picked two other better people. Because again,
Yeah, I
rip
think
off of the
so.
first one, it was the boyfriend and a friend. That's what it was. That's really what it's been. Obviously, that's how it's always been. But oh, geez, sorry. But still, could have went somewhere more not productive, somewhere more creative with this.
I would have been impressed if it was the twins. Something like that dynamic
I
just
was,
feels a
yeah,
little different, you know?
and even another favorite part of the movie for me was the introduction of Ghostface again. Because no, pretty much everyone knew who it was, but when Dewey called, because Dewey called Sydney, and Dewey pretty much says it's happening again. Some dude is dressed up as fucking Ghostface, and he's back to killing people. So it was funny for everyone was like, oh, we don't know who this is, and then you got Dewey who's here going, it's fucking Ghostface. He's back. He's returning. Yay! Followed by Sydney pretty much saying she has a gun and she will shoot a bitch.
Yeah, like it's kind of fun to see the progression of Sydney going from the innocent high school kind of
High school girl to now being the mother and who is still ready to kill anyone.
yeah, like a badass. She went from innocent victim to badass self-protective like warrior queen. Like it was amazing.
The movie was really good.
She got stabbed and shoved and punched, and
Like
she
all
still
did.
just kept going. It was amazing.
Gail got shot in the knee and still
Yeah,
managed to get into the house.
Gail went through it.
Gail got shot and smacked around, and she still got in the house and killed a bitch. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think the girl of the one of the twins, the girl one, she got stabbed in the neck and was like practically on death's door.
No one
Still managed to come back and
none of
help
them
out.
none of them got stabbed in the neck besides the dad, not the dad, the boyfriend.
I thought she got
Stabbed
in the neck.
They had
She
a
got
knife.
something in the
They had
neck.
a knife at the neck, but nothing went through.
No, she got actually genuinely
I don't remember.
Stabbed up.
I remember those ones. I was more focused on the other ones getting their shit kicked in. That's what I was focused on the most. Yeah, but also for like
Mindy, that was it.
Yeah, for a 2-hour movie, though, the movie was really good. I enjoyed it. Maybe they could have knocked it down, maybe an hour 30. But for like there was what 2 hours, 2 minutes of a movie. It's up there.
It was interesting, and I liked the twist that the first person to be attacked actually survived. That was like a different twist on it. That was interesting.
That was pretty much for the first time one of the first victims actually survived. And again, we had a lot of deaths happen in classic Scream fashion of them being stupid. I do think one of my, it's up there, favorite scenes is God, I think it was Wes, who his mother got killed, and they kept making it so suspenseful. And the way they did it was Ghost's calling scene. Have you ever seen the movie Psycho? And it kept cutting to his house because he was just sitting in the shower. Until he ended up getting stabbed in the neck, like 3 minutes later. And then the reunion of all the characters showed up. It was like, okay, there's everyone, not bad. But I do think Dewey giving hints on who it could be was the worst. Because he pointed it out so fast by saying, do not trust the love interest. And gave out everything that the love interest did that the killer would have done. So I thought they're like, oh, okay, it's him. Whole time, I was like, it's gotta be him. That was doubtful, but yeah, it was in there.
Poor old Dewey, he was right in the money.
Dewey was right and then got killed.
Yeah, for no reason other than he was like, I'm gonna double tap this bitch.
Out of all the Scream movies, though, this one's up there. To me, it's not the best. The first Scream movie,
the best, but it's actually pretty good.
First Scream movie still sits up there for being, God, a classic. But I think this one would come in like second, third. It wasn't bad. I loved it.
Probably, I would say a close running for second place, but would definitely sit at third for me.
Oh yeah. Again, the movie was great. I enjoyed. There's not a lot to talk about with it. I mean, the characters. Oh God, the characters.
I mean, to be fair, the fact that I called it from the get-go though just proves to how good the best friend actor was, because I called her out straight a fucking way.
It was obvious for her.
Like, she was sat there being like the total like goth bitch and just sat there like, oh well, maybe I'm the killer, like that sort of thing. Right at the beginning, I was like, but actually maybe you are. I was sat here like thinking, you're just basically saying it because you are. You're just giving it away, and none of them take you seriously.
I still find one of the best parts would be that the final scene took place at the original house. Like
my favorite was her setting on fire. That bit just.
I still think one of my favorite comedic parts is she comes crying out of the house, and Sydney goes, "Do we shoot her?" And she just stops. Goes, "Ah, fuck you!" Shoots Gail in the leg and runs back inside. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's you now. Now we know." Like she tried to play all this and just went, "Man, fuck you," and just shot him. Like, okay,
it was fantastic.
That part was like a comedy. No after credits scene though for this one, but once again a lot of just references. To me, it was the references. That's the bad part. It was pretty much just, hey, have you seen Scream 1? Have you seen Scream 1? Did you go see Scream 1? Go see Scream 1. I'm like, just shut the fuck up.
Just
anyone who's probably watching this movie has seen the first one. If not, why are you here? Like, why? This is a Scream movie that's ripping off the first one. Hey, like, if you're sitting there going, I don't get it, I'm gonna fucking slap the shit out of you. You're like, go watch the first movie, dumb ass. But I don't wanna. Well, then why are you watching this one?
I have to say, it's one of those things where it's like, if you haven't seen the classic Scream films,
then why are you watching?
What have you been doing with your life? Like, go watch them first before you see this one, because you're not gonna get it.
To me, it's like a lot of old classic movies don't really have a plot to it, but these ones do, because Sydney's a recurring character. And she's back in this one, and everyone's like, who is she? It's like, did you watch the originals? No. Well, then you don't know.
Exactly. It's like if you don't watch the originals, you're not gonna get it. You're gonna watch this film, and like, you're gonna sit there and be like, this makes no sense.
It's like, if you
There's no actual plot to this.
But it's like, if you came up to me with, like, Jason, and you watched the new, like, let's say one came out tomorrow, you watched it and not watched the other ones. That makes a bit more sense. It's Jason. It's the same, unless you've watched, at least watch the first one so you understand why it's all happening. But besides that, you don't gotta watch them in order. Like, you can go
What
from the
you
first
gotta
one,
watch the original.
go from like the first one to Jason Goes to Manhattan. Same exact
I would say
goddamn
that
story.
even if you don't watch every single one of the Scream movies, at
Watch
least
the
you need to be
first.
watching the first one,
Like, in
the
my
second one, at a
watch.
push the
I'm
third.
about to say, watch the first two. Don't watch the fourth. Maybe not even the third. Watch the first two. First two, I mean, and
Yeah,
we're probably gonna end up
first
actually reviewing those
first
anyway.
two, get in there, watch them before you watch this, because it's gonna make zero sense otherwise. You're gonna watch it and think this has no plot. I don't understand. Why are they doing this? It's not even good.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like, yeah, well, if you've not seen the others, you are not gonna.
Yeah. But let's just hello.
Hello.
Okay. We had a malfunction there.
Yeah.
Discord randomly just crashed on me,
I don't know
so
what happened.
that's gonna be in the recording. But anyway, that's what we were talking about. I don't know why Discord did that. Again, yeah, definitely going to watch the first two. Maybe not the third, doesn't matter. Fourth one, don't watch about. Unless you want to go pick on it like I do. I like the only reason to watch the fourth one. It's that bad. I'll pick on it so much. But yeah, again, Scream, to me, classic. Uh, what's time have we been going for this one? Oh, geez, not even half an hour. Oh boy.
Well, we can cover multiple topics.
Ah,
can
sure.
try
Okay,
and
so
cover other things.
I mean, I do want to kind of stick. Okay, I guess I can bring up another thing, like with kind of how Scream, I guess, compares to every. Nah, okay, I don't want. I kind of want to do that. Compare how Scream came up to everything else that recently came out at this time, and legit at this time it was. Oh God, what was the recent horror movie that came out? I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember. However, still with Scream also hitting the box office when this came out, this was, to me, when they announced this was a big surprise. Because the last movie has been made for 10 years. And just out of the blue, I remember there was rumors of this happening for like 3 years. And now it's when they're going, it ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And it's, they hit it again, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen. Then a random trailer. And I like if you are a classic die-hard horror fan, you would understand like how a lot of people probably felt when that trailer dropped. Because we're all sitting there going, this is real. This is going to happen. And then second trailer drops and we get a reveal that Sydney and Dewey are coming back. I'm like, oh shit. Shit is actually gonna hit the fan. And I don't think we got a third trailer. I think we only had two. Now the movie dropped, and I actually think when it dropped, it was the top box office movie for like. It was up there until Sonic 2 came out. Sonic 2 or Uncharted? No, Sonic. It was Uncharted, I think. And then Sonic 2 came out and beat Uncharted. So Scream was up there for like a solid 3 weeks. And I'll be fair, I wasn't a good part of the reason why it was up there, but I went to go see this shit a lot. I do think we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, and I can't think of anything else to talk about for this one. So I think we'll at least end this one on 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I guess before we end it, talk the podcast real quick. I think the goal is going to be, at least at least want to hit half an hour, and then if we can't, go for an hour. But again, this was only episode 0. This is just the start of it. We down the line, most likely, we talked about this. I'm not sure. Depending on how this goes, we're planning on also covering like true crime documentaries. Could be real or fake that can probably scare the living hell out of you. Maybe some games. We actually had an idea for a special episode that I'm not going to talk about because it's going to be one episode. That's probably good, like an hour. But
it's a surprise.
I guess with that, the last question I can ask is, where would you rank Scream? I guess obviously the 2020 version. Like we'll go with
Mm,
one out of. Let's do 1 out of 10 stars.
Honestly, I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5.
I'd give it like, yeah, I'm up there to 7.5. Again, had a bit of problems. Wasn't that
Yeah, like
good.
there were a few teething issues with it for me, like that made it not as enjoyable as its predecessor of the first one, but it did a damn good job of coming near to the mark. It did a
Yeah.
damn good job.
Again, they did, and again, they did it really well. Um, yeah, I guess it's gonna end it. I do know we have the next movie we're going to record. Um, I guess, well, without saying the name, for next time, I want to ask you, will next week be, well, hmm. All right, I got two questions then for I guess for next week. A, would you want to stay overnight in a sort of pizzeria joint? And B, is next week your birthday? Well, tune in next week to figure out the movie. And I ain't gonna say the movie. That was really bad. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna end, and we're gonna end the podcast right here with pretty much our documented Scream.
Sayonara for me, folks.
We will see you next time.